You'll be amazed by the ability of these new international combines to recover grain. It's truly phenomenal. This machine represents a new advance in the state of the art. As the development of the combine itself revolutionized harvesting, so too does this rotor and its chamber revolutionize combining. The rotor and the components that comprise the chamber do all the threshing and separating in our new axial flow combines. Here's how it works. The crop is fed into the rotor's impeller, which gathers it and starts it rearward in a spiral movement. At this point, the rasp bars bring it around and thresh it against the concave repeatedly. Then the crop, continuing its rearward spiraling, is passed repeatedly over the separating grate, where centrifugal force affects optimal separation. A bed of augers moves the grain and the fines back to a typical cleaning system with 2 sieves and an air blast through them. The clean grain is moved via this auger to the grain tank, and the tailings are returned via this auger to the rotor chamber for rethreshing. The spent straw, meanwhile, is propelled by this beater out the rear of the machine. On the rotor itself, these are the impellers. This is the rasp bar portion, which does the threshing and much of the separation. And this is the separating portion, which completes separation of threshed grain from the straw. In the rotor cage or chamber, you have this cone, which surrounds the impellers, with these veins that start the spiraling of the crop and control and direct its movement throughout the entire length of the chamber. You have the threshing concave and the separating grate, where final separation takes place. Shown here at 1/25th its actual speed, the crop forms itself into a kind of cylinder as it spirals through the chamber. The material is spiraling much more slowly than the rotor, so it is contacted by the rasp bars several times, and it passes repeatedly over the concave on its way through. Not just once, as in conventional machines. Here, all the threshing must be done in one pass of the crop, from here to here, and it must be severely impacted and rubbed to get an acceptable amount of grain out. In the process, you sustain more grain damage than you will with axial flow, where repeated threshing passes mean the crop need not be impacted and rubbed so severely. And you can recover more of your total yield with the axial flow. In a single pass through here, more kernels invariably go through unthreshed than in repeated passes around and around here. And of the grain that gets beyond the concave, you recover more of it by centrifugal force through this grate than you do with straw walkers. You'll be amazed by the ability of these new international combines to recover grain. It's truly phenomenal. The axial flow's great grain recovery ability is particularly noticeable as you increase harvesting speed or as the grain's moisture content increases. When the forecast calls for bad weather and you really want to get in there and go, you can do it with an international axial flow combine and take out a lot more grain and dollars than with a similar size conventional combine. This go ability also helps improve timeliness of your harvesting, getting the crop out in the fewest possible days. Our tests show that often when the crop gets too moist for conventional combines to thresh efficiently, you can still be in there doing a good job with an axial flow. Another factor in timeliness is reliability, avoiding downtime or stoppages. Eliminating the straw walkers and simplifying the drives on the combine affords a great reduction in the number of moving parts and results in a substantially greater reliability potential. Still, another advantage of the axial flow principle is its greater tolerance for variations in crop conditions, without so much need for fine-tuning the adjustments. Well, this means you can spend more time combining, less time setting or adjusting the machine. In fact, almost every one of the superior attributes of these new machines, productivity, grain saving and grain quality efficiency, serviceability, ease and convenience of operation, and reliability potential, are made possible by the axial flow principle. Yes, this machine represents a new advance in the state of the art. The new axial flow principle, along with exceptional simplicity and balance of design, affords go-ability and high combining efficiency, which you will especially appreciate in those tough conditions when your crop is threatened by adverse weather coming. Up to 1,500 bushels an hour in corn. That's 25 bushels a minute. You get comparably high capacities in other crops. These new combines are designed to require a lot less maintenance and service than conventional combines. And what there is can be done in a lot less time. An international built diesel, renowned for long life durability and reliability, for exceptional get in there and go. You have ready access to the grain tank. Also to the front side of the engine. You can get at it without going through the grain tank. You have ready access to the rotor drive. This highly reliable drive direct from the engine replaces both the conventional cylinder drive and straw walker drive. Typical of the thoughtfulness with which we have designed these new machines is this rear service deck ladder, which folds up to become integral with the overall styling of the combine. You have direct, easy access to the radiator. The other drives have been greatly simplified for optimal reliability and serviceability, with fewer drives on any one shaft end. Many of the drive belts are spring-loaded, self-adjusting. Need for adjustment has been greatly reduced. You can get at the concave and remove its 3 sections and replace them in just a few minutes. Simply unclamp the concave holder on the right side of the machine. Then unbolt the sections on the left side and remove them through the access door. We make 2 types of concaves, one specially for corn, beans, and maize, and the other for small grain. Because the corn, bean, and maize concave performs very well in small grain as well, however, in most cases, changing concaves will be unnecessary. You can remove or reinstall the straw spreaders in only a few seconds, and they're standard equipment. And you get easy, quick attach interchangeability from one crop to another. The axial flow uses the 810 header and 800 series corn head that have proved themselves to be unexcelled in the field. There are no cylinder filler bars to be installed or removed between crops, and no arduous fine-tuning of rotor speed, concave clearance, finger grate, or cylinder stripper, because the rotor system has exceptional tolerance for variations in crops and conditions. For operating ease and convenience, you get a big, roomy control center, nearly 5 feet wide. Our deep pocket windshield extends below the level of the control center floor, giving you superb visibility of the crop gathering unit. You get an exceptional quiet control center. Listen for a moment. Now let's open the door. A very quiet control center. You get a digital readout of engine speed, ground speed, rotor speed, fan speed, plus 10 other monitors that are standard equipment to alert you to a combine or engine malfunction. You merely flip switches to engage or disengage the separator and feeder drives. Electro-hydraulic servo controls do the work. No more heavy levers to test your strength. You can unload well over 100 bushels a minute, almost 2 bushels a second, from a grain tank that holds 175 bushels on the 1460. With a superior power swivel unloader, which makes it easy to top off the loads. Farmers who have operated these new axial flow combines have remarked on their greater throughput, more bushels an hour, with virtual unpluggability, as plug-free as a combine can be. Greater grain recovery with less grain damage. Improved serviceability coupled with greater reliability potential. Easier, more convenient operation. All adding up to unparalleled get in there and go ability and unrivaled productivity, because it just plain gives you a better return on your investments in crops and machinery. Compare the many benefits of this machine over any other, and you'll go axial flow.